I'm just gonna wing this here, a little primer for the room and the board and the gear. Trash can. Make sure that both power strips are on. This one by the drum kit and this one by the soundboard. Make sure everything is powered up and working. The monitors 1 and 2. Bass rig. Mute it like that. Input here. There is a DI from this little amp going into the snake here. Goes into the board if you want to record it. Shouldn't need to mess around with the snake at all. All these cables are labeled on both sides, as are the inputs to the snake. And they correspond to the inputs on the soundboard. Actually, I'm gonna relabel these so that it's a little cleaner. It matches these labels a little bit better. Like my mic says Bob. This guitar amp says guitar amp. Oh, it's pretty tricky. You can use these microphones for anything you want. If you don't want to make the drum kit, for example, and you want 2 more vocal mics, that's fine. Just please put them back. And like I said, no need to mess with the snake. Just run them into the board and use those inputs as you would for something else. That's fine, but you don't need to mess with the snake. That's probably it for microphones. It's a mic for the steel amp. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 vocal mics. 2 overheads for the drums and a kick drum mic. And they all feed into the mixing board. And when you fire it up, you come over to the scenes setting. And here are all the different bands. Muddy Roses, Moonshine Maybelline, Laura Benitez, the Spectones, Pictures of Lily, Mike Hellman, and the Brian Ebzery Project. So you can choose your band, hit the recall button. This one's already up, let's see. Choose another one, Moonshine Maybelline, hit the recall button. And the last saved settings will emerge. Hopefully it'll come up with everything muted, so you don't get any feedback. By mistake, hit this soft key right here that says mute. We'll take everything off of mute, and then your mics are hot. You can mute everything again there. So let's go back to Muddy Roses setting. Muddy Roses, recall. This is where things were left here. So, input number 1 is called Girl, mainly because we have a handful of female vocalists and they all seem to use this mic over here. So that's called the Girl mic. That's input number 1. Bass vocal, drum vocal, Bob vocal 2. These others that are potted down on the board, they're potted down because we don't need to hear them through the PA, but they will be recorded if you plug in a USB drive here, but we'll get to that maybe in another lesson. For now, let's take the mute off, and because I'm standing next to the Bob mic, let's talk about just that one here. To adjust the monitor mixes, there are 3 monitors. 1, 2, and 3. The drummer has a little hotspot over here, but he's looped and running through, I think, number 2. Oh, he's got his own volume control anyway. If you want to hear more or less of an input in one of the monitors, you have to adjust them separately. So if you choose mix one is now, you're now adjusting what is being heard through this first monitor. So lots of Bob, some girl vocal, some bass vocal, and some piezo. If I hit mix two, this is now the monitor over here. A lot less Bob, a little more of the girl vocal. You get it? Mix three, the whole room's hearing that. So no piezo, little Bob, little girl vocal. So that's how you adjust unique mixes for each of the monitors. Once you get each one dialed in, go back up here to your scenes menu and hit the store button. And that will save all your settings. If you're getting too much reverb or not enough reverb, you do the same thing with the FX buttons. You can dial down the amount of reverb on the girl mic, for example. I think FX2 is delay. You can take that down and turn that up. And that's across the board. Again, when you like what you've got, you can hit store. And it'll save it for you. Those are the basics of the board. You can get into EQ and all the effects if you want by hitting the select button for an individual channel, hitting the processing button here, processing button up here, and you can dial in EQ. You can play with gates, comps, effects. You probably won't need any of that, but that's how you do it. Turn that off, turn that off. Any other questions? Let me know.